That was a good Apple event. Today's Apple event may have been my favorite or the best I've witnessed in the past like 5 years. It took me or caught me off guard. I'm like struggling for words here. Not that this was some sort of like miraculous experience, but the hardware that Apple unveiled today is just really, really good. And people get on Apple for not being innovative, but this year, there's like too much to unpack. So let's get into, what Apple talked about. I'm gonna try to, summarize things here so you don't have to watch the entire hour event, but I highly recommend you do. I thought it was very interesting. So the first thing that Apple introduced was HomePod Mini. I'm gonna spend 3 seconds talking about this. It is a small form factor smart speaker. It's pretty cool. It has great audio performance for its size, and it's gonna compete with the Google Home Mini and Google Nest and the Amazon Echo devices. You can pair multiple of them together. It can interpret individual voice requests, which is pretty cool, and it just adds to the Apple Home ecosystem experience. And it starts at $99, so that's pretty dope. It's also going to support Pandora Music and Amazon Music, which is cool too. I wish they'd support Spotify, but oh well. Okay, now let's talk about iPhone 12 and 12 Pro, and both of these new models are equally exciting in their own right, I will say here. Number one, because the design language is now reminiscent of the iPhone 4 and 5. It's just new. It doesn't look like the iPhone 6 anymore, if you know what I mean. And just both models look stunning regardless of the fact that they're made out of different materials. Like the 12 is made out of aluminum and the 12 Pro is made out of stainless steel. It's a great look. Bezels are slimmer, and now there are OLED displays across the board. So now you get great contrast, brightness, all of it in the cheaper iPhone models, which is great. And iPhone 12 now comes in a mini model. And I love that because I'm actually somebody who likes a small form factor phone. I switched to the iPhone 11 Pro for a reason. I had the Pro Max and it just got too big, although I cannot wait to test out the Pro Max in the 12 variant, and we'll talk about that in a minute here. iPhone 12 and 12 Pro also pack the A14 SoC, which packs a really powerful GPU and just better overall performance with regard to image processing and camera quality, which we'll talk about in a few minutes here. iPhone 12 and 12 Pro also resurrected MagSafe in a way, and I was not expecting this. I did not hear these leaks, or I did not hear these rumors, and when I first saw it in the keynote, I was like, whoa, that's cool, because when you are sort of fumbling around to put your phone on a wireless charger, it often doesn't work as well. So if there are iPhone specific chargers that do charge wirelessly but will like align your phone, that's gonna be a lifesaver, because I've done this so many times. I'll like roll over in bed when I'm ready to go to bed and I'll like plop my phone down on my charger, and then I wake up in the morning and it wasn't aligned and my phone is dead. So this is a nice feature. It also brings a lot of accessory possibilities. You can snap like little wallet accessories into place. So really great to have magnets on the back, kind of like the iPad Pro in a way. And fun fact, iPhone boxes now are going to be smaller because Apple's no longer shipping earpods or a charging brick, which makes sense at this point, and it reduces the carbon footprint, and also it allows them to ship more iPhones at once, so that's kind of cool. Oh, and also, how dare I forget, there is now a blue color with iPhone 12 and 12 Pro. I know that the 12 Pro color is called Pacific Blue, and it looks fantastic. I might just go with the silver, but I'm definitely going to get a model in that color because it just looks stunning. There's also 5G, and like this is exciting, right? I'm happy to see that it's finally implemented into iPhones, and we saw the CEO of Verizon talk about ultra wideband, but let's be real here. Most of us are just going to be happy with LTE and happy with the new features with these new phones rather than benefiting from 5G. But again, if you live in a big city, this is big news for you. Next up, let's talk about camera performance, and this was a category I was super excited to hear about, as I guess I fall on that demographic of Pro that makes use of a smartphone camera. The iPhone 12, for example, which of course is less sophisticated than the iPhone 12 Pro, has a great camera setup this year. It has a new updated wide-angle camera with a faster aperture at f1.6, meaning that low light performance is 20% better. And then of course with the Pro line, even more features were added on. But what's interesting this year is that the 12 Pro and the Pro Max are different with features. So the 12 Pro has the same wide-angle camera found in the 12, and also a 52mm telephoto lens. So that's new. It offers up to 4x optical zoom. And then with the Pro Max, you get a 62mm telephoto, which offers up to 5x optical zoom, and also a brand new wide angle sensor and lens that has bigger pixels and up to, I believe, 87% better low light performance. So that should be a beast, and that might get me to personally switch to the bigger form factor just for that hardware. So we'll see just how good that is. And also iPhone 12 Pro across the line can now shoot 10-bit HDR 4K 60 video with Dolby Vision. Like what? Like how do you even do that? That's the power of the A14. That's just Apple being Apple, bringing these insane camera specs to a phone like that. So that's like, whoa. Although I'm not someone who's gonna be shooting like cinematography on my iPhone all the time, that is just insane. And if you are somebody who does documentary work or you need to have a small form factor camera, the iPhone 12 and 12 Pro might be, it for you. That might be the tool that you use. LiDAR has also been implemented into the 12 Pro Max setup, and that not only gives you better AR capability with depth sensing, but that depth sensing also gives you better low light performance, especially in regard to autofocus, which is apparently like 6 times faster in the dark. So like just whoa. Apple also touched on image processing, so they talked about something called Deep Fusion, which takes advantage of the A14, like the entirety of the processor, to give you really nice photos and videos. And they also introduced a new form or way or codec or file format of shooting photos. They call it Apple Pro RAW. So it takes the best of their computational photography and also allows you to adjust things yourself like you would with a regular RAW photos. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the 12 Pro Max has an optically stabilized sensor, not just a lens, so that makes for even better stabilization. And as somebody who's into like, photography and videography and mirrorless cameras, that's a super cool feature to see implemented into a smartphone. So they crammed all of this into these new phones, and I mean, it was just a lot to remember, a lot to write down. I was like furiously texting or typing this because I was like screen recording the event on my iPad here, so it's almost too much to unpack. But yeah, I highly recommend you look into these phones. I am super, super excited to test them out and of course to compare them to the already amazing iPhone 11 Pro. I have loved this phone dearly. It's been the best iPhone yet, truthfully. And now the 12 and 12 Pro and also the 12 are just even better. And again, I cannot wait to see that small form factor 5.4-inch mini. So once again, a lot to unpack here. This has been a very exciting day, and once again, I cannot wait to get my hands on these devices to share my opinions with you guys. But anyway, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, comment. If you have any questions, suggestions, or opinions, any engagement helps my content do better with the YouTube algorithm. And as always, I'm Noah, and I will catch you all in the next one.